Hi, HRN listeners. We're celebrating our 15th anniversary, and we have a really fun campaign and an ask for you. This 15th anniversary tour is aiming to bring you closer to unique food and music experiences in some of the most exciting cities in America. All the while, we're raising funds to support our work empowering the next generation of food systems storytellers through our fellowship programs. Here's how it works. Donate to HRN and be entered into a raffle in the city of your choice to win a dinner for two at a noteworthy restaurant and tickets for two to a concert at a prominent local venue. We have incredible partners in New York, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Nashville, Las Vegas, Charleston, Asheville, and Ardmore, Pennsylvania, who have donated a meal for two and two tickets to a concert of the winner's choice. And all donations help fund our fellowship programs, where we're helping to build essential workforce readiness skills and food system storytelling skills. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15. Thank you.
This piece was brought to you by Roberta's, robertaspizza.com.
Hey, welcome to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. Hey, I'm Jimmy Carboni. Jimmy's number 43 in the Good Beer Seal and many other good things, and we're talking on the heritageradionetwork.org. We've got some great guests today. The title of this show is Craft Beer Exports and the New Gypsy Brewery in New York City, Alewife Brewing Company. So let's go around the room and introduce each other. Many of you know each other. This is what's so great about New York City is a very cool craft beer community. And let's just go around the room. And I know everybody in this room, so I love you guys.
Hey, my name's Keir Hamilton. I'm the head brewer at Alewife Brewing Company.
And this is exciting, man. I knew you for a long time. You worked at 6 Point. You're making great beer. And last week at our Brisket King event, Alewife, you guys, I think that was your launch, wasn't it? You got Patrick Donaher. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, guys. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, but you guys, was that your launch last week at Brisket King?
It was our launch for Death to Ego. We flew through our electric rhino keg, and Keir just shouted over, "Go get another one, but it's for accounts, Keir." He's like, "I don't give a fuck. Go get it."
Well, I'll tell you, at the Brisket King NYC event, every chef was lining up to try your beer, Alewife. So great job. And the master of sales and beer in New York City used to be part of Freaktoberfest, Mr. Patrick. Another
What's
one.
up?
What's your name, Patrick?
Big
Pat Fondiller, head of sales for Alewife.
Dude, it
Brewing.
is so exciting to see the team that you guys put together. That you got Keir as brewer, Patrick Donaher, and Pat Fondelier, man. You used to work at the Gate for a long time, didn't you?
A million years.
Talk about craft beer cred. This is the guy.
I was at the Gate for 12 years.
The notes I have say that you're the beer beast.
Yeah, that's right.
Who calls you that? Did you call him that, Patrick?
Somebody came off the tongue pretty quick, didn't it?
And then
I was
what's,
like, "What is your name? What do you want on your card?" He goes, "The Yeti. Call me the Yeti." He's like, "Fucking beast."
that was my nickname when I played baseball.
Beer beast. And David, our boy. And then we got the craft beer export guys. This is kind of a cool show. We're bringing together a new brewery and guys who are doing exporting of craft beer.
Hey, yeah, this is Qurban Walia here with Peter McNulty, and we're co-founders of Crafted Exports here in Brooklyn.
Hey, Peter, say hi so we get your voice on.
Hi, guys.
And Peter. And then Roz, let's say hi so we get your voice on.
Hi, I'm Roz Donaher, and I'm the Alewife.
All right. Well, great, you guys, and congratulations. I know that you guys, Patrick and Roz, congratulations.
We just hit our 12th week today.
You've got a little
Congrats.
Got a mini Alewife on the way.
a beer baby. I like that.
Got a mini rhino.
And Patrick wants to announce November 10th they're going to do a live birth on the radio.
Yes, Jimmy. We're going to need a few blankets and towels. We'll be good to go.
All right.
On the brewery floor.
Well, this is cool, man. This is a fun show. This came together neat. So Qurban,
yeah.
Qurban, first, you came in, our good buddy, mutual friend, Pete Brown, my favorite English beer writer. We met the night
Mine
he was
too.
on in the fall. And let's tell us background, how you started working in exporting beer and, a little backstory.
Sure. So Peter and I actually came into it from different vantage points. I came from the business world, and like most great ideas happen at a bar, I was fairly well traveled, and I was drinking a brewery that I won't name in a bar in Mumbai, India, and it just tasted like shit. And I had the idea, if someone can get beer from point A to point B tasting the same, hey, that'd be pretty good for the craft movement overall.
Yeah, I mean that was always the issue forever of getting any beer from from far away was how good it would taste when it got into your glass, And Peter, you're an interesting guy. I know you worked with Union Beer, 6 Point for a long time. Give us a little backstory on your role in the industry.
So I started in beer focusing on quality control, and over time grew more into distribution and managing a supply chain. And a lot of the troubles that we ran into over time was it was always great when somebody ordered your beer overseas, right? But a lot of times the feedback died down after time, and then you started getting feedback about bad tasting beer in the market, right? So what we've really worked hard on is creating an account base, an inventory system that pulls, right? We have our own salespeople in market that create that kind of demand in market. And then we manage the quality and stay on top of things so that the beer tastes as good overseas as it does here in the U.S.
So let's say you're going to mention a brewery that you can mention. I don't know if everybody got their deals going on.
Sure.
That you're shipping out of New York City to, let's say, England or Europe.
Sure. So I'll name 2 beers that we actually have that we're drinking right now, which is Harpoon and Captain Lawrence. Harpoon out of Boston, Captain Lawrence here in New York, and we've got their beers going to the UK and Scandinavia right now.
And then are you just doing logistics management? Do you actually have, tankers or, shipping containers? Tell us the whole process. I don't really know how it works.
Sure. So,
I mean, I wish there was just like a big cable across the Atlantic and you just pump the beer across, right?
yeah, you and me both. That would make my life a lot easier. But so
I
what
can't
we do
believe
is
you actually agree with me, right?
yeah. So
What do I know about exporting?
It comes from a pretty simple concept. Breweries, their expertise lies in brewing and packaging beer, right? After that, there's a heavy reliance on local expertise, market by market, to make sure that you're delivering the ideal product into the space. So what we do is we consolidate shipments to maximize cube, right? So we're shipping efficiently, lowering the total cost per case and per keg that we're shipping overseas. We maintain a closed, environmentally controlled system so that the beer is getting to the market the same way that it would in the United States, despite the challenges of increased transit time, increased touches, which always leads to damage and loss, and then selecting partners overseas that are also dedicated to maintaining the quality of the beer for distribution. And then at the most important component of our business, that's how the business should be done, right? It's not how it's done, but we make that as just a rudimentary binary answer. Either you're on board or you're not. And then we have our dedicated sales programming overseas that we really flex, and that's some of the best value that we offer to our breweries.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's a cool intro. But so now you're confident that beer that you ship, when it ends up in the glass in another country, is going to taste good.
Yeah, I remember when we first started, it was we cracked our first keg, and it was a Captain Lawrence IPA, and you could just smell the hops from a couple feet away. And it was actually Pete Brown who was at that event, and he was like, "Oh wow, I came in just for this, and you guys proved it right."
Wow. Well, that's cool, man. Well, it seems like there's a lot going on with export of craft beer out of America. I know it's hit some record numbers, and it's still growing. But we're going to talk more about that. But let's get back locally. So, Patrick, Pat, and Keir, let's talk about Alewife. I mean, it's exciting. We've heard about this for a while, but just tell us what Alewife Brewing Company is. And also, we're drinking some of your beers, too.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time in the works. A lot of planning gone into this, and this last couple of months has been definitely interesting with getting Keir on board was the number one thing for me to do to get a partner on board that can brew great beers, and he's proven it. So it's with the brew pub we're going to put a 1-barrel system in there. So we want to use it as more of a test kitchen, like a scullery we want to call it, and then we've a 7,500 square foot warehouse coming up, which will house our 10-barrel brew house. And at the same time, we're going to be Gypsy brewing at Torch and Crown in the Bronx. So that'll get our core beers out. Keir has a lot of access to that, and he gets to go up and visit as much as possible. So it's good to keep everything local. And then the fun will begin at the tap room next week. So it's we start construction with in-house construction. So this will be pretty fun to get that
tap
going.
room, that's going to be in
At
Long
Alewife,
Island
yeah,
City?
yeah, at 514 51st Avenue. So that'll be. It's still we've held on
It's
to
been
Alewife
your bar,
for-
right? You're turning
It
it
has,
into
yeah. But
is it into a brewery or a brew pub?
it'll be a brew pub.
Yeah.
We wanted to do the brewery there, but we wasted like a year and a half with engineers and our landlord, and then we found out that the weight couldn't, or the pylons couldn't support the weight that we needed to put in there. So now we went off and had to make adjustments. So we Gypsy Brew now up at Torch and Crown, and we're going to put our 1-barrel nano system in there, which we got from SS Brewtech. And that'll be Keir's fun kitchen, so we can scale up whatever sells well and whatever people want. So
Well, cheers to you, man. You've been a
excited.
leader. You and Roz been leaders in the craft beer community for a long time, and
Cheers.
really proud of you guys. Keir, tell us about what brewing's like. You came to a new operation. I'm sure you're excited to work with this crew. Give us, tell us what it's like, man.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of hard work. As Patrick said, we're working with our friends at Torch and Crown, and they've been great. They just took over the old Chelsea facility, so they have a lot of
Up in the Bronx.
yeah,
Bronx.
They have a lot of kinks to work out there, and get their facility up and running 100%. But we're working with them, and they're good lads. And the feedback that we're getting from customers, we're producing some great liquids so far. Our session IPA, Electric Rhino, people are liking it.
Killer.
And Pat Fonde, the beast.
Yeah.
But just seeing your name on things. I mean, you were Smito's forever. Like I said, the Gate, one of the legendary craft beer bars, and now you're here with these guys.
Yeah.
What's the promise of kicking off a new brewery?
Well, I'll say that I have been looking for a long time for a New York brewery to get with. As you know, I'm from here. And it went like this. I was sitting with Pat one day trying to sell him some beer. And he said, we're doing this thing, and we're looking for a sales guy. And I said, I want the job. And he said, you're hired. So that was my interview.
I've known Pat since the gate. So
You handle HR also?
for now, until shit gets out of hand,
He told me I was the
Talk
one
to her,
guy.
man.
He said I was the one guy he buys beer from that he doesn't want to buy.
I know. But like, if he can sell me shit, then I'm going to hire him and sell good. Imagine how easy it's going to be when he sells good beer. But anyway, sorry. But so he came in, and because Keir and I was trying to build from there, because I wanted to put a team around Keir because his talent is just humongous, and I wanted to get the best of the best. We were talking to him. It was like he shortlisted him like a year ago, and I didn't know how to approach it. And then we were just talking shit, and then next thing, boom, I want a job. I'm like, got it. Fuck it, let's do it. Figure out the details later. But yeah, it's we're people know the Alewife name. They know us through the bars and everything, and it's like the liquid has to be good. So picking the right brewer was my most important thing. Selling the beer, also number 2, but it's quality over quantity with us right now. So we want to get our beers dialed in. I think we launched a really, really strong beer as our first beer. It usually takes time to adjust and all that, but I'm pretty happy with it.
It tastes awesome.
Thanks.
100%. Yeah.
But it's like when we brew in our own facility, that's when we unleash Keir really like strongly, and Pat, and we're all like a team. It's not there's no divisions. It's we design our labels with Daniel Birch. We design or Keir does his recipes on his own. He'll listen to Pat and I about the markets and see where they go and use them as his inspiration. It's up to him then to come through with it, but he's the head brewer, and we more or less work around him. And we try to we're trying to make our beers very approachable at first. And once we get that down, which I think we're right on our way to, where Pilsner's coming out next, and then it'll make life easier for me and Pat to just go and sell it, So right now the 3 of us are doing deliveries, the 3 of us are taking orders, the 3 of us are doing everything. So it's a lot, as Keir said, it's hard work right now, but we've definitely a lot of good things coming up in the horizon.
I saw you guys last week. You came to the venue in Williamsburg for the Brisket King event. I mean, I'm joking, but it was kind of like you got the Harlem Globetrotters, and then you guys showed up, and Keir's wheeling it on the hand truck, and you're there, and you guys rocked it out. You had 2 kegs, and people went nuts. What's the beer that we're drinking? The first beer.
This is Electric Rhino. I just wanted to add to that, like after sitting on a computer for the last several years, grinding numbers delivering beer is exceedingly fun.
Yeah. And then the first day we get deliveries, it's to Westchester, and I don't have a notion of Westchester. So I'm like, and then my phone's down. I never charge my phone. So like maps are going, I'm like writing down everywhere so I can ask people where to go. And then so we wiped out Westchester. The Chico's took a load of beers, Birdsall House, like we've a lot of good people up there that are taking great beers for us. So that's our market we want to hit. We want to hit these people, because through the years and meeting people, a lot of people come from Westchester and they're getting their trains, and like we want to look after them, and then we'll tap into the city as much as we can. Right now we're doing select accounts and we're just bouncing around. We're selling whoever wants it. Really, select accounts, imagine. And but
You guys got great relationships from all your connections.
Yeah.
We'll let Keir talk about the beer.
Yeah, quick. So Electric Rhino, what is it, Keir?
Yeah, Electric Rhinos are, I said before, session IPA. I put it together around about like 4.6%. Just really approachable, easy drinking beer. Body's not too thin. It's a nice level, and we're using a little bit of Centennial Cascade and some Calypso and Cashmere hops in there.
Great, man. Well, it's a great start. Anything else?
Great.
Hey, it's great, right? Beast. Well, hey, this is our good little break. We're taking a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes on Beer Sessions Radio. All right.
Cheers.
My name is Brandon Hoy, co-owner of Roberta's, a super duper awesome place. Roberta's is a very, 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 very proud sponsor of the Heritage Radio Network. We're also super awesome. Thank you, Heritage.
All right, welcome back to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. Hey, cheers to Brandon Hoy of Roberta's Pizza. You guys are awesome, man. Great show here today, heritageradionetwork.org. Check us out, become a member. We're talking about craft beer exports and the new cool Gypsy Brewery, Alewife Brewing Company in New York City. It's funny. So, Peter, you're part of the. What's your export group called? You guys, Peter and Qurban.
We have an awesome name. It's called Crafted Exports.
Crafted Exports. So,
Genius.
So your backstory, you worked at 6 Point and Union Beer, but you also work with Keir. So tell us a little about anecdotes or...
I feel like incidentally I've actually worked with everybody in this room. We're going to focus on Keir, but Dan and I work together. Dan and I work together at Union Beer, and
Daniel Birch, our designer. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pat and I, Pat would come in and pick up samples every Thursday and Friday, and I'd have to figure out where they were. I'd also have to figure out how to get Patrick his beer when he ordered it the same day.
Doniger.
Yeah.
My beer yesterday.
He ordered
for
same day, that's what he does?
And hope
do that, don't you?
And hope that he wouldn't refuse it as soon as it got there. And Keir and I worked together for how long? A year? A little bit more?
I think, yeah.
We overlapped at 6 Point, and you would come over from Widow Jane, right?
Yeah, I was distilling before with Widow Jane.
Yeah.
And I was coming in on Fridays to wash some kegs. And then the ex-head brewer, Danny, wanted to take a little sabbatical, head back to Oregon for a couple of months.
Yep.
So he hired me on to train to become a brewer to kind of replace him for his couple of months. And yeah, just right time, right place. It was great.
Yeah, it worked out well. So the team there had always been like organized around, good people, smart people, worked hard, but like we're generally good people to be around. Keir was an awesome addition to that team. With the help of social media, also we've been able to stay in touch. But some of the other guys there too, Danny, who was just talking about, I just did
Danny
brew
Bruckert.
with.
He's at Circa Brewing, right?
He formerly of Circa Brewery.
Formerly of
right?
Circa,
yeah,
yeah.
as of just recently. But I brewed with Danny on the 14th. That came out awesome too, and yeah, no, it's been a good experience. I was saying to Pat before, like since I think Pat and I first met in 2008. There's like, I don't know, 5,000 new breweries or something like that. And it's crazy because I still feel like I know everybody in the brewing industry. No matter how much it grows, it still stays like kind of a smaller family atmosphere. And that's one of the best parts about it.
So these guys out of the gate as Alewife Brewing Company, they're already aware of they're selling outside of the city in Westchester, but they're probably also thinking about exporting. what advice do you have for them, or what kind of conversation do you have to have?
We're definitely thinking about it.
It's actually the first thing Pat and I talked about. Was like, I want to get beer made. So, Keir and I have plans to travel. And so, where looks good? Can we get beer over there?
Japan.
Yeah. And Korea.
But how do you target? I mean, how do you target these markets? You just get in a connection and you get a container together, or?
Well, just like anything in the beer world, partner selection is by far the hardest thing to get right. But as far as advice goes to a new brewery, exports is really hard. As much as everyone says, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but there's definitely gold in those hills if you can do it right. I would say operational flexibility, as Peter always stresses, is really important, because I think the problem is 9 out of the 10 things with selling beer in New York and selling beer in Stockholm are the same, but it's the fact that there's 1/10 difference makes it really hard. And 2, understanding that as much knowledge as you have for the U.S. market, it's completely different overseas, and you have to definitely appreciate that from a brewer's perspective.
Keir and I are obviously, I'm from Ireland, he's from Scotland, and the more often I go home, for maybe it's only like twice a year now or so, and we were in Dublin or Galway or wherever, Keir will probably do the same in Scotland or England, and you see more American breweries in there, but they're the same as they were last time. It's very slow. Like, there's not a lot of aggression there from American breweries. So you pop in, you might see KCBC popping up somewhere, you might see the other half. There's definitely a lot of Flying Dog, a lot of who else?
There's some usual
Lagunitas
suspects.
are all over the place, Yeah. It's like the local New York market now are getting itchy fingers, because we're in the hub of the world right now. So whoever comes here and drinks, the beer should go to their locals too. But like, for us, the main concern is local. Like, we need to crush New York first, and then whatever else pops up after that is just a bonus for us, So it's like, export would be cool to do some festivals overseas and see how it grows from there, like organically grow it. And but like, New York is definitely, we're brand new. We just started 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't want to put too much pressure on that man over there.
I got some great advice from somebody at Union Beer a while ago, and you guys are following it as is, but it's develop a beachhead, right? So know your plan of attack, focus on a smaller area, and own that so that you can grow off of that base instead of spreading yourselves thinly, and that's a really good strong component. One thing that we actually have as part of our portfolio of offerings overseas is that we know that that new and growing breweries don't have the operational capacity always to be like a regular portfolio participant for export. But what we're doing is we're regularly rotating in breweries, setting up events for them, and creating relationships with high spotting accounts overseas. And what we'll do is we'll send you 24, 48 kegs, and we say, hey, you guys let us know when it's ready, right? We'll pick it up within a week of when it's brewed. We'll consolidate it with regular stuff that we have going over to fill our account base, and then we'll get it into the market, right? And it's entirely pre-sold, right? So it barely hits the warehouse floor, gets out to the accounts. You guys can monitor how it goes on social media, and then we can give you like real sales data too, where we say, hey, these are the accounts that had it. You want to follow it up? You want to come out while we're out there and selling the beer? Like, you can participate that in as much as possible. And if there's a market that you want us to go to, right? We have a scalable company. We can you want to go to Czechoslovakia? You want to go to Japan? Right? You were saying. You want to go to Australia, we can help you do that, but that's like the mechanism, right?
Are you in those markets now?
We're not, but I have experience. Every country I've named so far, I have experience exporting to in one capacity or another. For us, it's just about turning on that tap.
So for export now, like what do you prefer to ship, and what do the markets want? They want cans? Do they want like
what styles?
I would say,
I mean the containers. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think that's
Do they want a one-way keg? Do they want a steel keg?
Be United do? They ship in containers and then they keg them at Be United. Like, is that on your?
Yeah. That's a great question, Jimmy. So I would say before us, 80. There's very loose numbers here, but 80% of the export world was bottles. And as everybody knows, you build brands through draft. So one of our big thing was we're going to find a way to get one-way steel overseas, and we were able to do that. So especially for smaller breweries, who don't have the fill heads for a million different types of kegs, we can actually just focus on 30-liter steel kegs, which has been phenomenal for us.
Are you providing that for the breweries?
Yeah, we provide that for the breweries. So still to this day, 75% of our business is actually draft instead of package, which is night and day compared to what a lot of other companies do. And then two, cans are definitely.
Here's our cans.
Daniel Birch, great designer.
Cans look
We're
awesome.
gonna say hi to him.
Daniel Birch is in the background there, but he created these logos for us. But sorry, go ahead.
No, and cans logistically are way easier than the bottles, because when you're talking about logistics costs of getting it from here to overseas markets, you can just fit more on a pallet can wise than you can bottle wise. So that's been a great one for us.
But demand going forward, you think you're going to sell more cans? Or still draft is number one.
Well, draft we always want to be number one. But when we first started, back in 2014, everybody overseas, and these are newer markets, right? So they're not as advanced or as saturated as they are here. Everyone was telling us there's no way you're going to sell cans, and now we can't really sell enough cans.
Yeah. Draft is the easiest to control distribution on. It's the best way to have beer. And it creates the widest sampling opportunity also, right? So you're not just like picking a specific account. Those people, they have the beer at the bar, right? If you then have an opportunity to introduce packaged beer in can or bottle, right? Then they've already tried the beer. They have like an association with it. You're building a long-term relationship with the customer, and that's what we're trying to do, right? So we go to these markets and we offer steel kegs. We're offering the best quality liquid that they can find, and then they're making a permanent association with that from when they first have it.
Wow, that's great, man. What beer are we drinking now? It's Alewife number 2.
This is our flagship IPA called Death to Ego. I'll let Keir talk about it. I think it's delicious. Before I do, though, I want to shout out to DJ Rubeluscious, my daughter
Ruby, baby.
because I know she's going to listen to this.
She's there with her.
I was supposed to pick her up from violin today, and I didn't.
She's there with her.
You've been a great dad, man. I will say, over the years, we're all familiar with
I
your
got a
daughter.
great birthday
she's the
video
birthday
from
girl.
you last week. That was awesome. Yeah.
All right, cheers to DJ Rubalicious. All right.
Cheers, Ruby.
Ruby.
So, Keir, what's beer number 2 before we take a break?
This is, Death to Ego, our 6% IPA.
Who names the beer?
We all kind of...
We all chip in a little bit.
Yeah, but Patrick, you had this one, right?
Yeah. It was. This beer is about change to me. It's like the ego is the downfall of man, and it needs to be gone for us to be able to continue. Like Alewife is really about change and adapting to change and trying to like slowly but surely coast it into a better place to live. So it's Death to Ego. Electric Rhino just came out of me. That had nothing to do with change, but it's just cool. It's just a cool name.
We have like a Google Keep like folder, and we just anytime we think of a name, you just put it in there.
There's like
and
1,000 of them.
Yeah, there's quite a few now. I think I was I went to the movie to see Black Panther, and there was a battle scene at the end where these big rhinos came running out, and they looked like they had armor and stuff on them. And I was like, oh, kind of electric rhinos.
Oh,
and I was like,
you said pink rhino first. We were like, isn't that a vibrator or something?
and then
Fuck it, let's call it pink rhino.
That name's awesome.
yeah, and that's where electric rhino came.
That'll be our balloon away.
And we have a couple more beers coming on the way. 1,000 Stars is going to add the name of our Pilsner. Mm-hmm. And then we have Self-Decapitation is going to be the double IPA. And Weisenfelder is going to be our German-style Hefeweizen.
German for fields of wheat.
Yeah, Hefeweizen. Felder's like fields, wheat fields, yeah.
So it's a real fun process, and then we have to communicate what we think to Daniel Birch.
So let's get Daniel on. Daniel, scoot up. So we know you, but good buddy. You did a lot of stuff.
Hello.
You did the Beer Sessions radio logo over. A lot of great stuff. Jimmy's number 43, and I know.
Daniel's now also our partner at the Alewife Brewing Company.
Congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you brought are these prototype cans, or are you already making?
Yeah,
the cans?
I did these. So I'm working on the other.
You guys take some
right
photos
now,
of the cans and post them on Instagram, right?
I just keep these in front of me while I'm working on the new ones. And actually, I was working on the lighting for Weisenfeld yesterday. And
Weisenfelder.
Pat. Weisenfelder, yeah. And that lettering is looking dope. So.
But yeah, it's a real fun process working with Dan. Daniel and I have worked together for years too on
Since Fool's
Everything,
Gold.
everything.
Since the Fool's Gold logo.
Since Fool's Gold logo, yeah. And now he's done everything for me. So now
And we can say
it
he
was the
did
right time.
some of the barrier labels.
He did, yeah,
Still do.
Yeah.
yeah.
So one of our
Love those
favorite.
guys.
It's definitely one of the best talents out there for artwork. So in the beer world, he's definitely highly respected, and he's been a friend of mine for years. So we're like, let's get this on.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So to going back and forth with him is just, it's kind of hilarious, frustratingly hilarious a lot. So the two of us are worse. Like I'm
Oh
worse
my
than he is. And we just go so far off the plot. It's ridiculous, and then we have to tell ourselves we need a moderator.
There's
You know,
nothing more
Yeah.
difficult than execute my vision.
yeah.
Right?
But Patrick Donner, what's too far for you, man? Like if you guys were talking about a name, you talking about
Jesus.
vibrators and
Jimmy,
pink rhinos.
I had to do.
what's too
my-
far
Monday.
for you?
I took nearly an ounce of mushrooms to come up with that 1,000 stars, and then I seen it on my trip, and then I tried to communicate that with Daniel. I was like, I wasn't in your head, man. What do you want me to do? And then,
Still
but we
mushrooms.
did. We looked it up. We found
Yeah.
a mosque in Iran that had the
Yeah.
same ceiling,
Yep.
and that's where my tattoo artist found my vision, what I was talking about, because I've all this shit in my arm too. And he goes, yeah, that's a mosque in Iran. I've
That's
actually
it,
seen this
yeah.
before. And then I
That's-
sent it to Daniel
that's
right away,
1,000
and he
stars.
came up with it. So
Just gotta outline that,
tell you
those
what.
cool shapes.
Good vibes all around. We'll be back in a few minutes on Beer Sessions Radio. All right. Woo.
Hey, like what you hear? Heritage Radio Network has plenty more. With fresh programming every week, we've got something for everyone. Trying to start your own food business? Concerned about where your food comes from? Looking for the best wine or beer to bring to a party? Find our shows on iTunes or Stitcher, or head to heritageradionetwork.org to listen live and subscribe to our newsletter.
Hey, welcome back to Beer Sessions Radio on the Heritage Radio Network. You heard that? heritageradionetwork.org. Check it out. Become a member. There's a lot of benefits, including you might get to be able to hang out and Beer Sessions Radio on a Tuesday. Meet us at 5 o'clock at Roberta's Bar. You might be able to sit in with us, too, if you're a member. So, craft beer export and the new Gypsy Brewery, Alewife Brewing, Qurban. You're going to kill me. Say your name again, man.
Qurban.
I'm so bad
You know
at
what?
names.
My parents call me Q, and it's found its way into
Yeah.
the universe.
See, I'm,
Q
I'm,
works
I'm
so
visual,
easy.
so your name's Qurban. I
Yeah.
see it on Instagram, and I'm like, Qurban. No, Qurban.
It's easy. That's my
Q.
Instagram handle. There's no others.
Q.
Yeah.
You got Q. You got the alphabetical
This is
name
fun
Q
because
for your
you guys
Instagram.
are
That's
getting,
brilliant.
you have your expertise now in export and figuring out that for the craft market, and these guys are brand new with all their knowledge, from Doniger's brain.
No, it's not. Look at I formed the
But what
best
are
team.
some?
Look at
I
these
know,
guys.
I know. But what are some pointers like for a
Seriously,
new
there's
brewery?
there's more like
For their
collective beer
branding.
knowledge in this
Yeah.
room than I think I've encountered in a long time.
yeah,
luckily you've got
and that's
like
why we're
60,
just
70
talking
years of
shit,
different-
right? Come on,
And Roz is like lying back
Retail
here, going nodding her head.
operations, like-
Tell me, no, guys. Suggestions: a new brewery like these guys that they have it all down. Suggestions for their branding, or liquid in the glass, for making a better export product. Since that's what we're talking about. Anything that you can tell these guys that they don't already know.
That's an interesting question. I think this is.
And then I need more beer.
Not rocket.
Yeah, I'm needing
not
more beer
rocket
too. I'm
science.
very dry right now.
You got to make the same great liquid for overseas that you do for your home market. And as Peter alluded to before, if you're not crushing your home market, there's no way that you're going to crush someone else's, right?
Yeah, agreed.
So from a branding perspective, the one thing I would say is, no matter how much hype you have, overseas people may not know the brewery,
Yeah.
and so
Jeez, the people in New York don't even know.
yeah,
we're
exactly, right. So
We haven't even built one yet. We're on it, but
yeah. And we'll all be there to drink when that happens. Here, thanks.
But is it like this? Like musicians? For years, I would know, say a guy had a band in New York and he would play at a place like Pianos or somewhere like that. Could barely get 30 people into the show, but they'd have regularly sold out, 5,000 person stadiums in Germany. There's a lot of examples of that for artists and musicians. Is beer like that too, or is it?
There are some beers that are better built for overseas markets than home markets. So I'll give you a couple examples of two beers that are flying off the shelves for us right now. One, Harpoon Take 5, their session IPA, that's a beer that is not nearly as popular on this side of the pond, especially in the New York
But it's
market.
fucking crushing it.
But yeah, exactly, and it's absolutely great. And part of that has to do with the rest of the world's
Scandinavia
pricing is built on alcohol percentage. So lower ABV beers are just way more approachable to foreign consumers because it's just simply cheaper. So if you can get really good liquid at a good price, also at lower ABV, it's killer. Two, Captain Lawrence Grapefruit IPA is just destroying Sweden right now, and it's been great.
Destroying New York too.
Yeah, it's awesome. If you were to, I would hate to reference the Untapped app on this show, but it's been the top 5 trending beer on Untapped in Stockholm for the past month.
So it's a good thing to reference.
Yeah,
I was waiting for.
Actually, we have a listener. I'll give a shout. Ethan Soskos in Long Island. He listens to every show. He's listening right now, and he logs in every single beer we taste on air on the Beer Sessions Radio Untapped.
Awesome.
So just so you know,
5 stars, buddy.
There's guys listening.
Electric Rhino, Wakanda Forever.
That Eagle.
So those two.
5 stars.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Subliminal messages. 5 stars. 5 stars.
There's two things you want to do from an export perspective, like to start, right? If you want to build brand awareness, then there is some flexibility with pricing and availability, right? But if you want to develop the export market as like a real sales channel, you need to you can't just focus on the specifics about the liquid. You have to develop as an organization to make sure that you can manage costs and make sure that you can deliver beer overseas at a valuable price to the consumer. Craft beer is exploding worldwide. So there's an opportunity for us because we can bring a lot of really good American beer to the market. But a lot of these markets, London in particular, they have great breweries that are growing at an exponential rate. And for American breweries to have a seat at the table there, they have to be conscientious of the decision that the consumer has to make, right? You make some of the best beer on the planet, but is any beer twice as good as another? And that's like a really tough conundrum. So you can't always charge twice as much, despite the fact that we have to.
So let's say we're in
consolidate.
London, a pint. What should a pint cost that people are
I
drinking?
just came in from Manchester yesterday. I was drinking 5 pound pints.
5 pound pints.
Yeah, 5 to 6 is the range.
They added up to be quite a bit.
And we work all of our pricing. We work all of our pricing back from the impact to the consumer, right? How much is it going to cost per pint? We work that back to see where do we have to land to be competitive in the marketplace, and we have those questions. How much beer do you want to sell? You want to sell a lot of beer? It's got to be here, right? That's like outside of sales. That's outside of branding, right? You need to be competitive in the space, and that's something that Qurban has gotten really good about, being honest about what the challenges of the market are, and then trying to find that cross section of like goals versus viability.
All right, so let's just jump over. So we're overseas. You're in Manchester, Patrick, or Keir, you're back in Scotland. What are craft beers that you want to see there when you're there? Do you want to drink more local beers, or do you actually wish
I
you
go
had
after
some,
their local beers because
yeah.
I'm not going to go there to drink beer I can get here a lot. I love going to Manchester. I love going to England obviously I'm Irish, but I love going to England for cask beer.
Same.
Just always trying cask ale, and Q's me and I done festivals with it. I don't know about shipping cask ale over there, but it's it's a great beer scene, traditional beer scene. The British are very proud with their beer, and when you go to a bar, you're getting a quality pint. I find out traditional bars more often than I do the big shiny bars, and I see their cellars, and their cellars are just beautiful with 40 casks on tap, all temperature controlled.
And what about for you,
Keir and I talked about this 6 months ago right? Like one of the best things about landing in the UK is your first pint of Adnams Go Ship, right? I know that's ours, yeah. But you're there and you're like, give me, right? It's
Adnams.
Also, shout out
That's your
to
shirt.
wearing the Adnams shirt right now.
I was going to say, I was like, does he have a shirt on?
And wait, you guys
He's
import,
always on brand.
but
We
you guys
Adnams.
import too. So Adnams, let's talk about Adnams. And Keir, I think you guys are hanging out year or two ago with the Adams Brewers, right?
I've brewed with Adams a bunch of times now, a bunch of times more in the UK, and Adams came over to visit Six Point as well. Going over to Adams is fantastic.
Adams or Adnams?
Adnams, A-D.
But to you, how do you say it? You said Adams.
Adnams.
Adams.
I don't know.
Said it.
And they have like a big state-of-the-art brewery from Germany, and it's phenomenal to work on. Like I'm still in bed in the hotel at 4 a.m. when the system turns on. It automatically starts mashing in at like 5 a.m. and then we go in at like 6:37 to check on the conversion. And probably the guy who's on the night shift is like stocked up the hops in the hop backs. So you just kind of monitor it. When you get to a level that size, there's a lot less hands-on work and more just like sensory stuff and monitoring ingredients and quality and stuff like that. Not so much get the mash.
But when you said Adams, and I remember that from when you worked at Six Point, and you guys are importing it. Why do we get so excited? That brand. I mean, I think it was in Michael Jackson's book. And I've had the Adams Southwold. I've had a couple of beers. I really like it. Why did we all got so excited? And we did.
It's good beer.
It's good beer. Is that why?
It's really
It's
good.
fucking good beer. Of course, you're
make
gonna
a
get
lot
excited.
of traditional ales.
Yeah.
And they're also working on a lot of they just came out with a can of New England IPA.
Yep.
Which I'd love to. I'm actually heading back to Scotland in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, I can get to try some.
We can get you flown over with these guys.
In the container, right?
Yeah, no, you'll be grand. Give him a couple of cushions.
And they just came out with like a cucumber melon sour as well, which
The cucummelon.
Cucummelon, yeah. If you've ever been in Southwold, it's like the tiniest little sleepy town. I think it wakes up for 2 or 3 days in summer. But that's
that weekend, that one weekend.
Yeah, one
This
weekend.
room is
yeah.
a percentage of the population of Southwold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all on the beach. It's
And then how did you
beautiful.
guys start? So you export over there, and then you use what do you same containers? And
Oh, so
import back?
this is the best. This is proof of concept. We got regular feedback. Harpoon had an event in Bristol one time, and they were talking about the beer tasted as fresh in Bristol as it did in Boston, right? Which is awesome, right? We started getting that same level of feedback from the local growing craft beer scene in the UK. So they said, we love what you're doing here. The beer tastes amazing. We can't believe how competitively it's priced. The market is really responding to it. All of our favorite bars have your tap handles up in it. Can you guys do this for us in the States? So, there was no greater compliment than these brewers coming to us and saying, hey, is this something you can activate both ways?
Great. So you do the import export. Then when Adams gets to the States, you work with distributors and other avenues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, man.
We're still handcuffed by the three-tier system here in the States, but
Well, let's just say this. I actually want to say something about this. I've been listening to a lot of cool stuff from the Brewers Association and importance of independent craft breweries. It allows the independent guys to do something, and let's give a shout out to that. Whether it's small wine stores in New York State or small wine liquor stores selling craft beer in Colorado, or you get people like you guys who had bar interests and somehow you're going to have a brewery as well. That's different than the macro guys owning everything and owning the store and the bar and the distributor.
It's
So
people that's been in it for this game. You know what I mean? We've a passion for years, and the next step is to you take risks. You hope to make money back. The plan is to stay within this industry, and for people that can grow with that is really good. If you have no business experience and you want to open your brewery, it's going to be a lot harder for you with business experience. And it's not me. I don't have business experience, but I know how to run my bars, and I didn't go to college for that. I learned it. And trial and error, a lot of trial and error.
That puts you. That's
But
a category called independent small business in all phases.
cheers
Let's
to
make
that.
it toast
Yeah.
that whether you're an exporter, importer, distributor.
I think it's important just to
brewer,
take chances.
and,
You just do it.
Store owner, bar owner.
And you figure it
we're
out.
all behind that, and I think that, and definitely in New York State. And I want to jump onto this one. I know that New York State has been behind a lot of great things, and I know that for a number of years they were really had a great craft beer export program. I know that guys like Empire Brewing their beers were sent on these trips to China. Have you guys had any interaction with New York State at all since you guys are based here? Or you guys, as now brewery in New York State, you're going to get exposed to that. I'm going to give a shout out to New York
I'm struggling
State.
with exporting to Westchester, never mind.
Yeah.
Fucking Staten Island up. Verrazano Bridge is scaring the life out of me right now.
Growing up on Long Island, we used to refer to that as upstate. So.
They love to hear that, I hear.
I know.
Well, I tell you, we're supposed to have the
popular guy
Chico cousins on sometime soon. So
They're on the rip in
we'll
Nashville right now.
doing
We're all
great
supposed to
things.
be in Nashville right now.
But who wants to go to Nashville? I'll tell you this. Let's talk about
never
the craft
been. I'd
brewers.
love to go.
Nashville, two
Nashville's
beer
fun.
guys I respect, Yeppe from Evil Twin and Josh Bernstein. They're posting photos of drinking Miller High Life in Nashville because
You
that's
know
what
what?
they have.
I was down at Wakefest, right? There was a bunch of us down there, and honestly, we just drank Miller High Life. We were at bars. We spend every day of our lives drinking top quality craft beer. Love it. Don't get us wrong. But sometimes it's nice to just kick back and relax and just fucking crush a fucking Miller High Life.
How many
you know?
highlights have you had with Shane?
Oh, we had a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny
Guys,
thing,
you're
last
killing
year,
your business. Stop it.
last year in
Also with Pete Brown, we had this
CBC
conversation.
DC. Two of the nights we ended up in this like small cidery, and like I was hanging out with the guys from Jester King, Wicked Weed, the Rare Barrel guys were there, and we were Rocky Mountain Barrel Company, and we were all just drinking cider. Like
At a
it was as
cidery.
if we just we get sick of beer sometimes,
Yeah.
but we weren't. But we just like it's kind of where we all ended up, and we were just drinking
you just do
quality
it.
cider, craft cider.
Sometimes it's nice to take a step back and go, you got to appreciate other things too. And you know what? A lot of hatred out there for the big three, but they've set up the distribution channels to make things right for us. It's easier to control where our beer goes to because and we still use the trucks. Like and every distributor tells you the opposite is just full of shit because you need the big three to help with distribution channels. And I'm sure you guys are using somehow or in some way, but it helps the small guys grow. And, you know, it's something that needs to be addressed because there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand that it is important. Our system that we have in place in the United States of America for beer distribution was started by these guys, and it's benefiting us. And it's helping many other small breweries to get their beer around and get their popularity
You know what? I
out
don't
there,
like
you know?
Miller because if I have an outdated bottle in my refrigerator, that guy on the TV commercial is going
need
to
to
come in
drink
and
quicker.
take my beer out.
You need to drink quicker, Jimmy.
I know.
All I have in my fridge is Orval and Miller High Life and Roz's wine that she's not drinking anymore.
Well, cheers, guys. This is a fun show, man. We got somewhere with you guys, and I'm really excited about what you guys do in Alewife Brewing
And
Company.
our back of house guy, Joseph Murphy, over there.
Joseph, come on and say something. Say it quick. Another Irish guy.
I'm sponsoring his visa, so you better be careful what you're saying, buddy.
All we can say is, so Joseph, you're from Ireland.
I am. I'm from Dublin. Yeah.
Did you just come over to work with Patrick Donegar?
He heard about me and he wanted to come over, you know.
We'd
Say,
met
say your full name. Say your full name.
It's Joseph Murphy.
You have a middle name?
Yeah, it's Joseph Robert Murphy.
Social Security,
All right.
date of birth.
Social Security.
And then you,
I
Patrick.
have all it, but
Patrick,
not on
you
the
say
radio.
your full name. I want to hear the Irish accent. Come on, say your full name.
What?
Say your full name. Patrick.
Fucking Alewife. Alewife. Patrick Donegar. There you go.
Now middle.
Now I'm going to be recorded, and then people with my bank info will be able to go, like, thanks, Jimmy.
I'm Patrick Michael.
But yeah, like we have a cool team here. We got Daniel Birch on design, Joseph does
Daniel.
our accounts, back of house, Keir, everything, and Pat and myself do sales and distribution. So but Keir's the main point of everything. So it's like getting his experience on board is huge for us, and the beer is speaking for itself. I think, you know, just to quote Lagunitas.
I'll tell you, I'm
Beer
going to
speaks,
tell you
people
guys, I'm
mumble.
really proud of you. This is one of my favorite shows we've done. I think this is more interesting than what they're talking about at Craft Brewers Conference. I don't think
Oh,
you're missing
absolutely.
out. It's
Half
cool.
of them aren't even there.
This is
It's
like
Jimmy.
guys coming up who know the industry. We're talking about exporting beer. We're talking about making beer and selling beer. I'm having a great time. We're going to go hang out at Roberta's. We're going to probably share a pizza at
Sure, right.
our great hosts and sponsors of this network. And I want to thank you guys for coming out. One more time, go around. Everyone say their name. Everybody, Joseph too, and Dan. Say your name, your full name. Come on.
Keir Allen, head brewer of Alewife Brewing Company. You can follow me on Instagram at the Alewife Brewer.
I know. I was like, who is that?
He's all jumped. Look at
Yeah. So Joseph Murphy. If we're doing Instagram, Joseph Murphy 212. Okay.
Daniel Birch, graphics.
Wait, so is Joseph front of house, or he said he's your bookkeeper?
I like the
Come
radio
on,
voice from Dan too. That was great.
Pat Fondiller, head of sales, room 2342 at the Hyatt.
And you're DJ what? Rubaleski?
Yeah,
DJ Rubaleski.
DB Rubaleshes and DJ Dirty Santa.
Mr. Q.
Qurban Walia. Instagram is just Qurban, Qurban.
Of?
Crafted Exports.
Crafted Exports.
Co-CEO with Peter here.
Yeah, I work with Qurban. My name is Peter James McNulty. You can also follow me at the Alewife Brewer on Instagram.
All right. And the whole family's here too. So
Roz Donaher, figurehead, the Alewife, and follow hashtag Alewife Beer.
all right. Are you also Roz Som? Is that you too?
She's
She's famous. We love you.
She's got a lot of followers. It's fun. She's a yoga company.
There's good people.
Be yoga, you know.
And you guy, this guy.
You can follow me, Alewife Brewing Company. Address 5-14 51st Avenue. Later one to be announced. But just drink Alewife.
Some of you might be annoyed listeners, but guess what? We are having a ton of fun, and this is one reason we keep doing the show for over 8 years. Is the great people in this community, and I'm so glad you guys came out. Big shout out, thank you to our engineer David Tadashore, producer Justin Kennedy. I want to say, coming up this summer, it will be, and how many of us know each other, the 10th annual July Good Beer Month, the 10th annual Good Beer Seal Awards, and we'll be doing our 8th annual New York City Brewers Choice that these guys at Alewife are going to be a big part of this year, and we're going to have a lot of fun celebrating
here to rock, Jimmy. We're
what's
here to
going
rock.
on. All right, so we'll see you next time on Beer Sessions Radio. All right, woo! All right, people, yeah, man.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.